Mr. Speaker, I want to stick with welfare reform. There's the HHS memo that got issued on this matter says specifically that waivers will only be granted if the governors of the states that are asking for them can show that they are moving 20% more people into work than they would be otherwise. So how is it that if welfare reform is, the whole point of it, the work requirement is to move more people from welfare into work, and the HHS ruling specifically says the only way they will waive the work requirement is if the governors can demonstrate they're moving more people into work? How is that undermining the central tenet of the law?
Well, first of all, if you'll notice, and you used the same language I used, they're proposing to waive the work requirement. Now, the one thing that is very clear in the 1996 law is Section 407 says you cannot waive this. It is illegal to waive this. It's one of the things that President Clinton, frankly, didn't want to sign, and that we insisted on. Because it was important, and Joe will remember several House Republican conferences where we talked this through in detail, and where the Republican governors, led by Tommy Thompson of Wisconsin and John Engler and Mike Leavitt, all were adamant that you had to be very tough, or the traditional social bureaucracies would not shift from their habit, which had been a habit, frankly, of teaching dependency. So now you're asking me to believe that the president who has presided over the largest increase in food stamps in American history, a president who routinely engages in class warfare and has been quite happy to get people more dependent on government, that he's going to waive the work requirement in order to get more people to go to work by not having them work. Well, I just think that's exactly the opposite of why we wrote the law.
Mr. Speaker, but you're really not answering my question. I mean, the HHS regulation says specifically that they'll only grant waivers if they're moving 20% more people into work. So that's what the HHS memo says.
Right.
You're not really addressing that issue with that answer.
No, all I can tell you is that Robert Rector, who was one of the real fathers of this movement at Heritage, has come out flatly and said this will gut the requirement. The Republican governors, led by Governor Bob McDonnell of Virginia, have written op-eds and have issued statements saying this will gut the requirement. Nobody who has watched this Secretary of Health and Human Services, who is clearly a radical on these issues, nobody believes that she will enforce a work requirement if she has the ability to waive it.
None of those things are, again, with all due respect, it's a non-responsive answer. And the fact that a bunch of Republican governors who are rooting for Governor Romney have come out and said that they think it will gut the work requirement without addressing the specific issue just doesn't seem to be very compelling.
I'll give you a direct answer. This is what Robert Rector said when he analyzed this the very first day. None of us believe them.